Hi, everyone. I'm Tony, and I'm a mentee under the guidance from Camilla, Varsha, and Rashmi for the GSOC project this summer. So we've been working on creating a new Grafana plugin that is helped to simplify visualization, the status of the operator through the Grafana web UI. So if you're not very familiar with Grafana plugin, it's just a newly created one, as I just mentioned. And basically, it will help to simplify the generation of the Grafana manifest based on the default metrics generated by controller runtime, so that the user can directly copy the content of the manifest to their Grafana web UI to visualize, to observe their operator status. So I recommend, if you have interest, I recommend you to go through the documentation, and I'll be glad if you can have a try on that and let me know if anything you have questions or issues or any idea you want to bring to this plugin. I'll be very glad. So currently, for the current release of the Grafana plugin, we have it will bring you two dashboards that by default will give you the metrics based on the controller runtime. So one dashboard is the controller resource metrics that will shows you the basic CPU and memory usage of your operator. So in the future, we probably will bring new resource based on different perspective if it is necessary. And another panel, another dashboard is the runtime metrics. So this basically will show you the relative status of the reconciliation and the work queue. So it will give you the performance of your reconciliation and the status of the work queue. So that's like what previously the Grafana plugin can bring you. So upon that, Varsha and me have been thinking if ever we can try to visualize the custom metrics. So that's what I'm gonna bring for today. So for custom metrics, we're thinking that like since operator can be various kind, because like different users or different companies may have different kinds of operators, and it can be a common case that the operator author will create or compose some custom metrics based on different perspectives. And so it can be interesting if we can help them to visualize their custom metrics through the Grafana web UI. So actually it feels like a challenging, because I just mentioned like since it is customized, so like what the meaning of the metrics and like what kind of the panels they want to visualize can be varied, and it is like a little bit hard like for the plugin to judge like what kind of the panel and what kind of the expressions they want you to see. So we're starting like the very basic things for like experimental. So so I can show like some latest specification in the latest documents of the master branch. So again, like the Grafana plugin can be triggered by the coup subcommand init or like the subcommand edit. And then this time it will also generate a config YAML file that is an entry for the users to define the metrics and they want to view. So inside the config YAML, it will give an object called custom metrics that is basically an array. And for each element, it will help the user to define the metric, the type, and the EXPR. So the metric is just the raw custom metric the user defined. The type is the type of the custom metric. That is the Prometheus data type. So to say it can be counter, gauge, and histogram. And the EXPR is the composed prompt QL based on the metric. So because like custom metric is like, this is just the raw metric, and more in general cases, we try to build some like complicated prompt QL based on that. So this is the field for EXPR. So for this three field, the metric and the type is required so that the plugin will know like what exactly the metric it is, and the EXPR is optional so that if the user would be glad to bring the EXPR, then the Grafana plugin will just directly use that. If the user are not sure like what the XPR would look like, then the plugin will generate automatically create one based on the metric and the type. So I'm gonna show a very brief case on how we can go over that. So here is the, sorry. So here I will be use the memcache operator. So this is like a very basic operator under the operator SDK test data, but it's still like it can be driven by KubeBuilder. So I'm gonna use the KubeBuilder edit subcommand with the plugin. So after that, there will be a newly created Grafana directory under the project, and there. So this is what this new feature bring us. I just mentioned it gives a subdirectory with a config YAML file. So inside it, I was going to create some configs for the custom metric. So before that, I have added two custom metrics based on the memcache operator. One is it has a histogram, which is the memcache operator reconcile time seconds. One is the reconcile total. It is not necessary to be very correct, but just is a trial for like the custom metric. So I just copy and paste to the config YAML. Oh, so for histogram, it's usually we would use the buckets of the this metric, and the next one is the reconcile total. And again, I will define it as the counter, and I'm not necessary to use the EXPR. So let's get started. So now I will again trigger with the kube edit. So this time, since I have defined the config YAML, the plugin will read that config and generate the JSON file. So if we open the directory, we will find there's a newly created JSON file under the custom metrics. And so if search for the keyword EXPR, we will see that it will automatically generate a new PromQL expressions based on the given metric and expression. So this is the histogram. It will generate like histogram quantum to show like some statistical results based on the custom metrics. And so here it will do some summary rate based on the reconcile, based on the counter metric. So basically, like what the plugin do is it will try to compose some very basic PromQL expression based on the type of the metric, and will insert the custom metric into the expressions. So now we can copy the contents of the manifest, and we can go to the Grafana web UI. So let's try to create one. So we just paste it in the input page, and let's say we chose a folder playground, and let's select the relative data source, which is Prometheus, and click import. So now we can see there's the panel. So if we choose, so let me choose different time range, say like 12 hours. So we'll skip this one. So I probably have a wrong expressions on the default metric. So let me try to fix that. So so that's the reason is because I guess I didn't correctly spell the custom metrics as I defined here. It should be buckets, I guess. So let me see if I can fix that. Oh, it seems it's correct. So because there's the histogram, I'm not sure why it's not showing outside, but it looks we can view what's happening over here. So that's basically what currently the custom how like the Grafana plugin will bring you the panels for the user-defined custom metrics. So it's very like it is still like an experimental feature and in a very early stage, because like you can see that we're just trying to like build upon the very basic prompt queue expressions to help define the panel based with the custom metrics, and we just deal with the timeline drawing panel as what is displayed over here. And so I'd be very glad if like you would be have interest on trying this, and I'd be very glad if anyone will have some ideas how it could be better. So it can be like challenging, because like at one point we don't want to leave so many config field for the user, because it bring some burden of learning curve for the operator author, but still want to make it functional, because like since it is custom metrics, it seems like there's like a couple of things that's really defined by the user side, not the plugin itself. So yeah, that's what we have for the latest feature of the Grafana plugin. Thank you.